You can't do compost wrong as far as the carbon-nitrogen ratio goes, and today, in this video, I'm going to tell you why. I've got three things here. A wheelbarrow full of sawdust. This is mostly grass clippings that have been rotting, kind of nasty and stinky. And then over here, I have a pile where I'm mixing them together. When you read about compost, you'll hear about carbon and nitrogen. Nitrogen is basically the fuel for the microbial life that grows in most compost piles. Sawdust is very high carbon. It's about a 300 to 400 parts carbon to 1 part nitrogen ratio. It's one of the highest carbon materials that you could put into a compost pile. Grass clippings, on the other hand, they are one of the higher nitrogen materials you could put into a compost pile. Grass clippings has a carbon-nitrogen ratio of about 20 to 1. The types of things that have actually more nitrogen than grass clippings are very green plants like alfalfa or just straight manure. I'm done with that compost pile. Now it's time to plant some corn. I'm planting in a big ring so we can have this leisure area in the middle of the patch because we have a brand new baby. We need this shady spot in the garden for the kids. Alright, we got that marked out. Now it's time to plant corn. The corn I'm planting today is a bicolored sweet corn. And then I'm also planting some of these, I think they're called, if I remember correctly, Iroquois pole beans in here, just for their nitrogen fixing capacity, planting them in the corn so they hopefully will grow up on the stalks. That didn't work very well for us last year. Plus it makes it a Three Sisters garden. Corn, beans, and squash, right? This might seem like a slow way to plant, but I kind of like having a personal contact with every single seed. So why do I say you can't go wrong with a carbon-nitrogen ratio in composting? It's because there's not just one way to do it. While an ideal carbon to nitrogen ratio is somewhere around 30 to 1 for a standard compost pile, you actually don't have to just do 30 to 1. You can make a carbon-heavy compost which will be more fungally dominated. Or you can make a more nitrogen-rich compost which will be more bacterial dominated because the nitrogen is really the food and fuel for the bacteria. I'm really curious if you all agree or disagree with what I'm saying. The reason I'm saying this though is because I think that one of my missions in this whole YouTube endeavor is to take any level of fear out of gardening, homesteading. You all know we've had our ups and downs. We've had very hard moments. If you want a compost pile that is just super hot and that cooks down, you know, in 20 days, yes, you're gonna have to turn it all the time and you're gonna have to get that carbon nitrogen ratio perfect. But if you have time, almost anything within reason that you mix together is gonna make an awesome garden compost. Have you ever seen a pile of wood chips or sawdust that's been there for 2 or 3 years, maybe 5 years. Well, I have, and even though this stuff almost has no nitrogen in it, it will break down and it will turn into beautiful compost. It will take a couple years. So the important thing if you want to make compost for your little, say, lettuce plants like these right here, is not that you make the perfect compost or not that you make fast compost, but you make compost at all. And that's why I made this video. Go make some compost. Don't worry about it being perfect. Put in some browns, some high carbon stuff. Put in some greens, some grass clippings. Pile it up, turn it a couple times, and you're gonna have great compost. The one exception to careless composting, as you might call this, would be if you have animal manure and you're concerned about pathogens in it, you should take care to make sure the pile heats up. Let's spread some sawdust on these paths. The last thing I'm going to do today for the compost pile is just give it a good soaking with the hose when I come out here to water this garden this evening. I like watering at night because less of the water evaporates and it soaks in deeper. What are you planting, Brianna?
Flowers, but specifically black-eyed Susans right there.
Your garden's looking nice.
It'll look nice when everything grows. I mean, it's June 6th. We will have a beautiful fall flower garden.
Here's Mr. Wilder, hanging out, happy as can be, just taking it all in.
Just like that.
We're happy we were able to recruit this kind of talent, and we're looking forward to working with him in the future. What you doing, buddy?
Washing off.
What are you washing?
Bird poop.
Bird poop? You're washing the bird poop off my truck? With your finger? Don't you think that's gross?
So I replanted a bunch of rosemary because we had a really hard winter and our rosemary died. And something ate it. It even ate the extra plants that I had in here in case those plants didn't make it. It's just gone.
It ate the dirt too?
Totally disappeared. Thankfully, Arthur gives me these moments occasionally where I can just plant. It's the best feeling ever. He'll take the baby and just let me plant.
I have returned to work. I still have a job. People ask fairly often. I work as a nurse. I have returned to work this week, and I have been missing being out here when I've been at work. But I love my coworkers. I enjoy my work. I enjoy patients. And so it's okay.
I miss you being out here too. For real. Though I have to say, my friend came over the other day and brought lunch. She texted me, "Can I just bring you some lunch and come hang out?" And I was like, yes. She was like, "Would it be a burden?" I was like, no. Come on, bring your... She has a bunch of kids, so it was really fun. You guys are so funny wearing like your nicest dresses out here to play.
I'm gonna take you right down here and show you something. I was wearing my scrubs, driving down the highway, and got a bright idea. I pulled all of these elderberry plants right here out of the side of the highway. I've got their roots just sitting down in the creek until I can get to sticking them in the ground somewhere. I'm curious, have any of y'all ever done this? And do you think those will survive? It just seems like a vigorous plant to me, the way it grows. My wife keeps telling me over and over, just sit there and relax and enjoy this. Enjoy the view, enjoy watching the kids play, enjoy the baby, enjoy this amazing weather. And I think there is so much wisdom in her kindness, in this kindness, because if you're not enjoying your life, if you're not taking time to enjoy your life and just running and chasing things, then what's it worth? I'd just like to share her wisdom with you and say, enjoy what you're doing. Look around you. Look at all the blessings you have and make sure you're enjoying them, because this life will just be gone in a minute. And I, for one, don't want to miss out on appreciating all the beautiful things. Folks, this has been another great day in the homestead. Thank you so much for all of your support, for all of your great comments, and we'll see you pretty soon. Okay, bye. Home, maybe I'm home. Home is wherever I'm with you. Home, I think I'm home, home, home. Home is wherever I'm with you.